What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Black Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host, Reg. Joined today with me is no special guest today. It's just me, guys. I feel like I've been gone for so long that I needed to do a solo episode. And actually, I'm probably going to do more episodes solo, but we'll get more into that later. But I just wanted to bring this independent episode where I'm by myself to explain why I've been away. So let's get right into it. The reason why I started by this podcast was about mental health in itself and expressing others' journeys. And sorry, I'm fixing the camera here, but fixing. Ooh, that was bad. Trying to understand other people's journeys and express the importance of mental health and why people should, be more open about what the things that they're going through and in hopes of it helping someone else. So I say all that to say I would be a hypocrite to not explain to you guys why I've been absent in regards to my mental health. And to recap everything, I'll bring you guys up to date with the start of this year, and going into why I got to the place of my absence in the first place. And so, those of you who have been listening and following my journey and been on this roller coaster of me starting this podcast, you've seen the ups and downs of all of the things that I've went through personally, as well as other people's stories. So I guess a little bit more update on my journey or a recap. Started the podcast, flourishing. People are loving it. Book comes out. So the podcast starts in July. The book comes out. My book, Suffering into Success, comes out in November. Started speaking journey December, getting in a car accident, end of December, boom, life goes in shambles. Coming up to a year to date of that too. But life goes in shambles and just shakes everything up. Everything that I thought was right, wrong, or indifferent. My world just got turned on side of its head. So now we go from exciting to what the hell is going on. So now I'm in therapy, questioning God. I'm just trying to learn who I am, what I am, and what should I take from this whole situation. So now we go through therapy, physical therapy, emotional therapy too as well, because a lot of people support. That's from December up to April, and then I was like, all right, after May, because May was my first time getting out of the house, getting out of the same routine over and over as I was going through therapy. And the reason why I chose May was because I had already bought tickets to this conference, the BYOB conference, back in 2018. So I was like, all right, that'll be my start. Mind you, I had doctors and people telling me that you might as well just take this whole year off, just relax this whole year, and restart back in 2020. So now I decided not to wait. I'm like, listen, I got too many things that was working in my favor, and I don't want to lose momentum. And I really didn't want to stop I feel like I was just building up to something. I was building. Plus, while I'm in physical therapy and everything, I'm getting interviews. I was featured in the newspaper. And people are still well received. And mind you, my podcast, this platform was still doing numbers without me putting out episodes. And I thank everybody so much, because it's nothing I can't show my appreciation of how much I appreciate the level of commitment that people have towards this journey that I'm on, and support everything that I'm doing. So I haven't even now, not even putting out an episode, people have still been supporting and listening, and I'm so grateful, because it must mean I'm doing something right, and people value what I'm doing enough that they're still checking, they're going back and listening to old episodes, and still having an impact. So I want to just stop and say thank you to you guys just for your love and support. But so in May, I went to the conference, and I'm like, all right, Reg, now from May to August is your parameter. That's your timeline of, all right, this stuff got to start taking off. It's going to bring us a substantial amount of income. and this will be it. This your big break. It'll be a year of you doing this straight. Mind you, do it caused the accident. I was coming from Uber, and someone ran in the red light and hit me. And so, because I can't drive like I was before, my full income was coming from my entrepreneur journey. And so, I'm like, all right, so this is it. All eggs. You know how they tell you in these little movies and books, like put all your eggs in one basket and bet on yourself, or jump out the plane and the parachute will open up. And so I said from uh, BYB, which was in May, up until August. That was my shot in the dark. Like I'm really going to try this thing. So long story less long, August comes and I'm not really having the impact that I thought I would have, or I'm not looking at the life is the word I'm looking for, the life that I thought I was supposed to be obtaining by that point. So now I experience what most have called entrepreneur burnout. And I asked multiple guests who came on here about their experience with entrepreneur burnout, and they talk about the things that they do and how they get doing. And I've spent it or I felt it mildly over the years, because I've always had something entrepreneurial going on, but never to the extent where my full income, my family, everything was all tied into it. So now it's up to me to decide, what do you do at this point. You set a timeline, you set a goal, you went all your heart, and now 90 days later you're not where you want to be. And now the burnout starts to kick in, because you put so much time, effort, and energy into something, so you expect some type of result. And when you don't get the result that you want, you start to question everything. And I became real depressed these past couple months, because I just I didn't feel the energy of um like I was not where I was supposed to be. And it's funny, because I just talked to someone, or someone just reached out to me recently, and they asked me how I was doing, and I said I'm doing well. I'm way better than I was last year, but not where I thought I would be at this point this year. And they said something that was so profound, because they said, well, take the last part out of it, which would mean I would the saying of what I would text would be, I'm doing well, better than I was last year. And it spoke to me, because you don't even realize. I feel like we get to these places and positions in our lives where we have an expectation of where we're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be married with kids, or I'm supposed to have this business endeavor. I'm supposed to be making this amount of money. I'm supposed to be living this type of lifestyle. And when your lifestyle doesn't match to the idea and the timeline you have in your head, it will start to cause stress. It will start to make you depressed. It will start to give you anxiety, like, oh man, what I need to be doing. It will start to cause all of these things that make your life feel worthless. And luckily, I was able to take a step back, because I was feeling worthless at this point.
This part of the podcast is sponsored by Titling Your Testimony. Titling Your Testimony is an online workshop series for aspiring authors. Do you want to go from stuck to published in 6 months? Have you started your book and don't know how to finish it? Have you finished your book but unsure of what to do next? Do you keep getting stuck and battling writer's block? Are you tired of making excuses and ready to give birth to your book baby? If you answer yes to any of these questions, this workshop is for you. The workshop is led by Debbie L. London, who is a friend of the Black Mental Health Podcast. She was on episode 13, where she shared her story and her journey with mental health. She was also on episode 20 of the podcast, where she went into great detail about how she helped me with my book getting published. So make sure you check out both of those episodes. For more information about Debbie London and the Titling Your Testimony workshop, go to debbiellondon.com/titling and tell her where I sent you. This portion of the podcast is brought to you by My Violin Weighs a Ton. My Violin Weighs a Ton is the realization of a unique vision that hip-hop artist and mental health advocate Archie Green crafted and is bringing to life in order to engage, educate, and inspire a new generation. Archie also understands the power of music and how it can be used to overcome obstacles deal with painful experiences, and even help individuals cope with mental illness. The students participating in this project are a part of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, which according to a 2017 CDC study are leading the nation in suicide rates, while 2 in every 10 high schoolers having attempted suicide in 2015. That is big. Wow. In January 2019, Archie and his mental health advocacy group, Peel Them Layers Back, was granted the opportunity to bring My Violin Ways a Ton to life. For the 4-month-long performance project, Archie and Peel Them Layers Back have partnered with Lexington Bell Community Center, which is an urban youth educational center located in the historic Cleveland neighborhood of Ho. I hope I pronounced that right. To support, head over to the GoFundMe.com/MVWAT 2019. The link will be in the description of this podcast, and make sure to let them know you heard them first on the Black Mental Health Podcast.
The worst feeling, one of the worst feelings in the world is everybody saying they loving what you're doing, and they say keep going, and they loving it and enjoying it, but you're not reaping any type of benefits. Mind you, which I'll talk more later, I love what I do. And so much I'll do it for free all day and tomorrow. But I got not only my own life to support, but I have others, family, wives, just people depending on me. So for me to just sit there and just do things for free all day won't be a beneficial to anybody. Um, so back to the burnout part of it, it was just like I was just getting real fed up and tired of like what am I doing this for? What's all and I know the purpose of what I'm doing, but it's like to actually operate. And I said this before earlier in the episodes, and for you new listeners, this might be the first time you're hearing this. I lose money every time I put out an episode. I don't make money off of podcasting. I lose an episode every single time I put one out. So now it becomes a decision time of, do I eat or put a podcast out? Do I pay this or put a podcast out? So now you have to, and mind you, I went plenty of times of making sure that the podcast comes out on time. I want to show consistency and things like that. But these things take time and it costs money. And so I just started experiencing. It was like, man, I've heard athletes say it, but they said when what you love starts to turn into a job, get out of it, because I know I never started this out of like it being a job. I really was doing it, still am doing it out of a passion, a purpose. Like I really enjoy impacting and making a difference, bringing awareness around mental health. But it started to become a job, especially when you're looking. It's August. August is the entrepreneur new year. You're supposed to be 6 months ahead of your goals at 20 by the end of 2019 if you start in August. So when you look at August and you still you haven't even finished 2019 goals, let alone to be focused on 2020 goals, it starts to pay a toll on you, and you start to look at individuals differently. Everybody's how do I say, like you start to create enemies that's not necessarily there. It's just demons that you're dealing with, stresses that's plaguing on you, and you start to manifest that into certain relationships. And so I had to really take a step back and just stop everything. I wasn't on social media like that. I wasn't just even the podcast. I'm not a fake person in none of the sorts. I'm a very high energy, positive guy. So when the energy for me to not be positive is present at that moment, I know it's time for me to take a step back and refocus, reanalyze, and just try to adjust, because I know that's not my normal state. My normal state is happiness, positive outcomes, glass half full. I always notice when I'm tired, stressed, depressed, really sad, is more of like I get hopelessness, and I really don't believe in anything that I'm doing anymore. I'm just looking at everything in the wrong sense of reality. And so I know it's time for me to just be quiet. Before I used to act out with certain things, and now I'm learning to control my tongue and just try to manifest and reason with myself and try to do it, because it had gotten so bad that I was preaching the importance of certain mental health skills or tactics that I use to keep myself mentally healthy, but I had stopped doing those things. I had stopped journaling. To keep it honest, I probably hasn't haven't really journaled since May. Um, I stopped reading books. I stopped meditating. I didn't do any of the things that I was preaching for people to do, because honestly, I still believe those things do work. Um, and they're good tools to use. So it's almost like eating your own dog food. Like, you could preach it. They say advice is always easier to give, but even harder to take. And excuse me, I had to stop doing all of the stuff that I normally um know would make me hit. So it's funny because you're in a dark place, but you don't do the things that keep you from being in a dark place. Like, it's weird because I know those things are things that I must do because they keep me from dwelling and having those type of thoughts, but I had stopped them because I had gotten so far off of my routine that it had taken some toll on me that I needed to just take a step back from everything. Um, and just even with I want to do some things behind the scenes with my books being sent out, and I'll get more into that later, but the people who know. And just it just didn't feel good that people weren't getting their books. They were supporting me, and then they didn't get their books. And I didn't want to be a fraud talking about just on here. I just know how to feel. Like, I want my brand to represent a certain thing. So I want them to know I'm working diligently hard and making sure they get their products and they getting the things that they need. But I didn't I just ran into some roadblocks as an entrepreneur that caused my burnout, and just being a one man band. And again, I don't want this to sound like complaining or ungratefulness, because I'm very grateful and fortunate for everything that I receive, everything, the applaud, the appreciation, the gratitude. Like, I have all of that. I'm just letting you guys know the mental turmoil that I was going through in my mind, because I don't want, again, bringing people on here sharing therapeutic stories is the mission. And mate, sometimes you got to share what you've been going through, because there's somebody out there that is going through different stresses within their mind as far as being an entrepreneur, but they won't take the time to express it, because as an entrepreneur, you're supposed to look like you got 50 million hands and you have a hand on everything, you can control it and you can do it. But it's okay to vent too. Like, there are other, I always say to these students and these people that I talk to about mental health is, you can't feel alone in a room full of people. And the only reason why we feel alone in a room full of people is because we are all trying to find different ways to mask our feelings and the things that we're going through. And I don't think, again, this is me being totally transparent with you guys, that I would have been true to the platform and stage that I'm building if I didn't be totally transparent and honest with you guys. So that was pretty much bringing up to speed why I've been absent and the things that I've been going through. To just I don't know, it's just been hard. It's just been a hard, I guess, year, honestly, and it's crazy because social media is such a gift and a curse, because you'll see everybody's highlights, but you won't see their lowlights, and you won't see what they're going through in the dark. Everybody's showing the best picture, the best video, the best part of their relationships, but nobody wants to show the human side of us, where we all have flaws. And my hoodie may have a stain on, like, because it makes us look like a bad person within a certain light. And I just wanted to be totally transparent to make sure let you guys know. And I had a conversation with somebody earlier, a couple months back, though. We think because we talk about what we talk about, and you could be a relationship counselor, you could be a contractor, a barber, a mailman, whatever. You think whatever you're going through, or whatever your job is, or whatever you're supposed to be preaching the importance of, that you're immune from going through it. So um, if you're a personal trainer, that you can't be have a few bad meal days, or if you are uh, a barber, that you can't do a bad haircut or have an off day, or just anything that you talk about. So for me, for example, I'm using that for example for myself, is I'm not allowed to go through any mental health struggles now because I talk about it. And honestly, what makes you the quote unquote expert, or a voice in your whatever you do, is the fact that you've experienced it, that you've been through it, that you're um like you are not a willing, but I can't find the word that I'm trying to say, but basically like you were a part of that thing that you're trying to teach the importance of, or that you're an expert in, or you have some type of expertise in. And so once I realized that, and I had that conversation with that individual, was like, it made me feel comfortable being more vulnerable, even doing this episode, because I could have just put out um I got some episodes that are already recorded. I could have just put those out and act like nothing happened, just restart it. But I feel like I owed it to you guys to, really say it.
This portion of the podcast is brought to you by Spread the Good Communications. Spread the Good Communications offers copywriting, editing, planning, and consulting services to help businesses and nonprofits share who they are, what they do, and why it's valuable. The mission of Spread the Good is helping people who serve the well being of communities, families, and individuals to engage their audience and build relationships. You may have the right solutions to offer your audience, but your success is limited without effective messages and stories about your work. Shelley Williams is the creator of Spread the Good Communications. She loves using the power of words to make a positive impact in people's lives. Here's a testimonial from Sharika on her website. Shelley has been a great asset to my company and played a vital role in implementing effective communication strategies for my target audience. She is able to quickly understand and complete work that delivers a clear and detailed message. If you're ready to get better results with engaging your ideal audience, visit spreadthegoodcomms.com/services and reach out to Shelly and tell her Reg sent you. I can 100% vouch for her. She's been nothing but great for me and the work that we've done. If you guys like my book, Suffering Success, A Paradigm Shift for Struggle to Achieve Happiness, you'll definitely know that she was the person who edited my book. And if you guys like the way the flow of my book went, you can get a living proof of example of her work. So go check out Spread the Good Communications and tell Shelly Rad sent you. And go get a copy of Suffering Success while you out. This portion of the podcast is brought to you by the Worthy Lifestyle app. Are you looking for mental health support, education, and resources? Are you lacking self-esteem to elevate? Are you looking for a way to handle the childhood trauma you're not talking about? Are you sad, angry, or just all over the place emotionally? If so, download the Worthy Lifestyle app. The Worthy Lifestyle app provides mental health education, resources, and support. Learn how to become the best version of yourself. Before you can win, you have to believe you're worthy. Download the Worthy Lifestyle app and tell them Brad sent you. I had a chance to meet the creator and the owner and the operator, and she's an amazing person. We actually are in the talks of doing big things together, especially for the mental health community. So I'm in full support of what she's doing with this app, and I highly recommend it because it's an amazing tool for people that say therapy and all of these things are expensive and they don't know where to start. So the Worthy Lifestyle app is definitely a place to give you that start, and it might be the place that you call home for a while. So go download the app and tell them Brad sent you.
So that brings you up to speed of why um I was absent. Now let's talk about how I got to the point that I am now. So um I had to learn my value, my worth, what I'm bringing to the table. Um, Honestly, someone told me this a long time ago, or it's two things I learned. One of the first things I learned was, um, if you're going to keep giving to somebody, why would they say no? Stop giving to me. And what I mean by that is, I was giving a lot of time, a lot of energy to people who they were very receptive. Everybody was grateful, but because I didn't value my time and energy, people would just keep taking. Hey, Reg, can you do this? Yeah, sure. Hey, Reg, can you do this? Sure. Or Reg, can you do this? And it's like basically, yeah, I'll do it, but they don't think about like the little or no compensation that comes with it. It's not their fault though. I had to learn that I didn't place the value on my time. It's almost like a like if you don't teach somebody the significance of your time and energy and the impact that it's making, then they'll just keep using it. Like, why wouldn't you? And that brings us to the other point that I was about to make earlier about the second point of the person was like, if there was an ATM that every time you went to it, it gave you all of this money, when would you stop going? And somebody was like, never. So if you always come and give people time, energy, and whatever, why would they ever stop coming and getting it? You're giving it to them, and for little to less or nothing. And people, and I don't think people have bad intentions with it. It's like my heart is pure. Like I'm trying to do something good and make impact, but um that doesn't mean it needs to be taken advantage of. So that's when I had to learn my value, and honestly, to transition it way correctly is I've learned it through my fiance and wife to be, the value of my time, and how much I actually mean. Mind you, of course, to her I would mean the world. She's dating me, she's in a relationship with me, we have children together, but it was once she put it into perspective of like you have two kids depending on you, like I'm depending on you, like um I know your worth. I think you forgot your worth. I think even playing with the accident, you forgot the value you bring to people. You forget the value. So um you have to start standing up with that. That's the first thing she taught me. The second thing was um I had to ask for help. And what I mean by that is I'm so used to doing things on my own, getting it done. Like I'll edit this podcast if I have to. I'll speak. I'll write this book. I'll do this. I'll do 50 million things that I've had to. And being with the accident, uh, being pulled in so many directions with my brand and everything that I'm doing, I'm learning that I cannot be everywhere at every time, especially with um like physically my body can't handle it the way that it's probably partially getting old. But I know the elders would say, boy, you young. So it's partially getting old, it's partially just learning that where the value of my time needs to be placed, just learning that. So she stepped in and said, look, I want you to get as far as possible and wherever you trying to be successful in. And if that means that I have to contribute to help do certain things in regards to your business, then I will. And she been would have helped me, but she wanted me to just do my own thing, and try to make things the way it's supposed to be on my own. Not basically just not get in my way, and I respected her for that. But I've learned, because I was so like unorganized with certain things, she was like, listen, she she structured a lot of that stuff out, like a lot of things. I'll get into the details later, but she structured a lot of things out, and I'm so grateful she stepped in, because I probably would have still been running with a chicken, like a chicken with his head cut off, still trying to figure out, all right, where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, da 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 da. And so my fiance helped out a lot when it came to that, and just learning the value of me, for learning the value of my time, knowing my worth, and asking for help. That was so big. Um, I A lot of people I know on social media is this meme going around about like, um, don't text them first and see how many people text you. So naturally humans feel like that. It's like, oh well, nobody's checking on me. That mean nobody's care. That mean nobody cares, when in actuality, I mean, it's a lot of people that care about everybody, not just myself, just everybody in general. But if they don't know what you're going through or the things that's happening into your life, they cannot help. It's impossible. People have their own lives, their own situations. Everybody's going through their own circumstances where it's causing them stress in some capacity. So it's kind of selfish for you to think that everybody is supposed to honestly be like your top of mind. So once you realize that, it's like, all right, I'm still having trouble, to be honest, like struggling with that. But I'm so grateful to have friends and family that my brothers, they know who they are. I don't have to name them all, that check on you, like, yo, you good? Like, yo, what's up? I ain't hearing from you, like, you straight. Um, Women, besides my fiance, she been the number one every day in the day out. She here for hours, so she already know where we stand. But there have been friends that are women that who came in and was like, "Hey, Reg, what you need?" And I'm like, "I don't need nothing. I'm good." And it was like, "All right, what's your information? I'm sending it. Like, you ain't gotta even ask me for nothing." And I'm like, "Whoa, like that's big." And I realized that sacrificing, um, losing time and energy and just investing in me, it's other people that want you to succeed. I'll let you know that now. Like, there are people out there that want to see you win. They want you to be the best you as possible, and you have to do your best to understand that. And for me, I had to learn, like, listen, there are plenty of people that want to see you win, and you just got to step aside yourself and just look at like how many people support and love you. So that was big, that over these last few months, just recollection and collecting my thoughts and just learning the value of myself, and just appreciating the people in my corner. And um if you're listening to this, you are one of those people in my corner. Every listen helps, every view helps, every share helps, everything that people do that in regards to trying to help this message that I'm presenting, as far as this whole platform in general, out to the world, that helps me get to where I'm trying to get to impact as many people as possible. So thank you for being in my corner as well. And thank you to all those other individuals out there that came and checked up on me and made sure I was straight. But I feel like I'm rambling. So I'm going to cut it short and I want to stop it here. But I just want to say thank you guys again, from the bottom of my heart. Um, just thank you. I don't know. Listen, that'll bring me to tears if I keep going. So I'm gonna leave it there. Um, but just thank you, and keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep liking, keep reposting, keep it all, because I have some major things planned for 2020, and it's going to impact a lot of people. I think that where y'all will see where I'm trying to take this and create a new narrative around mental health, especially within that Black community, African American community. But I got y'all, like I know y'all got me. And again, just like, share, subscribe, and thank you for listening. It's truly appreciated. And I'll talk to y'all soon. We'll be back next week with some new guests. Well, one guest. We'll be back next week with a new guest. And moving forward, I'll try to get as many out before the holiday season comes. But again, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you soon. Peace.